In this video, we're going to finish up the monster unicycle by doing the frame. This is part of an old junk bike. The front of it went towards a swing bike, but I plan to use this rear triangle here to make the frame for the monster unicycle. So, first thing I need to do is release that off the rest of the bike. So my main concern here is I wanted to make sure that these tubes are going to be long enough. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to make them wider because they're about 1.5 to 2 inches, but that is a 4-inch tire. So, but the end of this at the bearing, those pipes are going to be plenty long enough. So this is going to work out, I think. So everything that I could unbolt is off. Now I need to take off these brake bosses, and I'm going to grind these flush and weld the hole shut so that so I got a nice smooth pipe here. So I've got my parts chopped up as I want. Now it's time to start putting things back together. So I'm trying to get these bearing brackets so they're actually parallel to each other. So I've got this heavy piece of steel, and I push both of them right up to the edge. I'm using this square to square them up. I think that'll get it close enough. So I have my brackets welded on and also filled in my holes. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to use for cross member here to hold these two pieces together. So I have several pieces of steel here that I could use as a cross member. I have this piece of bicycle here. That looks like it might work out pretty well. I also have a piece of square tubing. The trouble is that these two pieces kind of divert here, and they're all too wide. So I'm thinking of maybe heating them up right here and see if I can bring these two close together. Give it a little bit of thought to maybe move forward like that. So this actually worked out quite a bit better than I expected. Went ahead and cut that on an angle, and what I did is I took my acetylene torch and I heated it up. Just gave it a little pressure here, and almost instantly it just kind of moved right over, and now my pipes are one right next to each other. So that's going to work out really nicely. So I got my risers mounted. Probably not really called risers, but I'm not quite sure what they would be called. Maybe forks, but either way, I got them mounted so that I can kind of see what's going to fit and how it's all going to work out, and go ahead and get everything tacked up together before I take it all apart to make sure that that all my measurements are made correctly. So I've decided on this flat piece of steel. It's almost a 1/4 inch thick to use for the top of the unicycle. Really beefy, and I think that it'll look pretty good actually. So also it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to weld. We weld it on like that. So I went ahead and tacked this up just to make sure that the wheel would run true, and I do need to tune it a little bit. It is running a little bit further on this side than on that side, but that's easy enough to dish that. It's got a little bit of a wobble on it, but it's easy enough to take care of. So, but I just wanted to make sure that when I tacked this up and welded this all together, that everything on this end would line up. So I went ahead, like I said, and tacked it up first. So I'm all welded up here. Got my two risers welded together. Now all I have to do is figure out how to make a seat work here. So even with the seat post rested flat against the top of this frame, it's about the right height. So it's not going to really need to go any higher than that, possibly an inch. If anything, I may end up finding myself cutting the bottom of that off. So just need a little bit of seat post on there, and that should do it. So I cut this seat post off of this bike, and that's actually the clamp off of the original unicycle, but I think that's going to work out perfectly nice. So I got my seat posts welded on. Let's put this thing together and see how it works. Okay, here we go for our first shot. So, the unicycle works pretty well, but because the tire is so much thicker, the outer diameter is much larger. Also, it weighs quite a bit more, so it's a bit of a challenge to ride. But anyway, another project complete. Thanks for watching my video. Have a great day. Also, if you'd leave any comments or suggestions in the comments, I'd appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks.